Sean, you fire it up. There we go. Now we're live. Let me check it out. I'm gonna hijack your live, and I'm gonna host the show, and you're the color commentary. But since Facebook grounded me for feeding my family, so Debbie, did I give you the context as to why I got
was going to
kicked
say,
off?
what the heck did you do to get kicked off, Dan? I thought you were like the nicest guy in the room.
I went fishing, and then I cleaned my fish because I wanted to feed my family. And they didn't appreciate that because I went live because I do a lot of ice fishing and like that's super normal in Minnesota. But everybody's like, dude, you need to like film you out ice fishing, right? That'd be some cool content to see. So I filmed me setting up the fish house and what we do and the kids running around and then me cleaning fish. And that was a no-no. Feeding your family was a no-no. But in Facebook's defense, they don't look for the context. My title was Slayed them. Now it's time to slice them because I was in the fish cleaning room, like cleaning fish. And so all they saw was slayed them. Now it's time to slice them. Not a fan. I got put in purgatory for that one. Yes. I learned my lesson. But what's funny
all
is
they saw blood and guts and you're so gory.
Yeah. And like here I am. I have a beer drinking show, a live beer drinking show where we talk all kinds of nonsense. And that's totally fine. But feeding your family is a no-no. Like at a high level. I thought that was pretty funny. So I think I have 16 days of purgatory left, and then I'm released from purgatory. Then I get to come back to the real world here. Let me see. You guys froze up on me, but I think I might be the one that's froze up. Am I back?
You're good.
You're good. Debbie froze up then. I see Debbie freezing up. I'm gonna jump in.
I'm back.
Now she's back.
I don't know what happened. It's just nighttime.
the internet's starting to take a rest. I see us live. Jeremy Brooks says, hi Debbie. How are you hanging out with these? I think he said, how are you hanging out with these thugs? I think he's like, why are you hanging out with these thugs?
Hi, Jeremy. It's because I enjoy hanging out with thugs.
That's right. Sean,
you know what?
Oh, go ahead, Debbie.
Well, you guys invited me to bookkeeping and beer. So I told my husband I had a beer, even though it's 8 o'clock at night to be in my PJs. But so this is Lagunitas and kind of a low calorie IPA.
Oh yeah, a little all day IPA.
Debbie, so that means I get to drink it all day.
That's right. That's right. You can't say you've been drinking all day if you don't start in the morning.
Carbs. That's what I like about it. It's carbs.
That's watching the figure. I got to get you some Blue Skies koozies, and not everybody has this one. This one's special edition.
Cool.
Our holiday koozie has my silly mug on it.
Will you please just set that aside and bring it to CBF Live? Just go start what we always tell our members, start your CBF Live pile right now. Go find a chair in your house. And every time you think of something that you should remember to bring to CBF Live, go put it on that chair. So you need to bring me those 2 koozies.
Look, I got 1,000 koozies, thousands of koozies.
All right, then I need 4. 2 for me and 2 for my husband.
That's good because you got 2 hands and you got to keep them both warm. You don't want the drink to cool down your hands. So you got to have a koozie to keep your hand warm. Here's the deal, guys. First, if you're checking this out live, give it a share. Give us a share. Throw it out, Sean. I think you shared it over to Cleaning Business Profits, probably. So drop it in there. And
hey, CB Profits.
I want to plug something right away, and then we're going to get into all kinds of stuff, a lot of marketing and sales stuff, which we're going to be talking a ton about at CBF Live. So I don't want to we don't want to blow the doors off right now, but we're going to tease the heck out of it, and we're going to add a ton of value as we always do. But here's the deal, guys. If you are in the home cleaning space at all, and you are growing and shooting to scale a business and hit that 6-figure, 7-figure, maybe 8. Nope. I don't know anybody that's hit 8 figures yet unless they're a franchise. Somebody's going to hit 8 figures one of these days. So if you're trying to scale that maid service business and you don't follow CBF, if you don't know CBF, if you don't run the business principle that Debbie teaches, tune in, hang out, check this out. B, CBF Live is coming up April 13th to 15th in Fort Worth. And you can go to cbflive.com. We got a coupon code. Stay tuned for the coupon code. I'm not going to give you that right away. We got to you got to hang out with us for a little while.
You got to hang out with us, but it gets you in for half off. So you better stay and get that coupon.
If you do that, it like pays for your flight. It basically pays for your flight to use that coupon code. And if you plan on scaling a home service business, especially a maid service business, you're going to want to be at CBF Live. A, tons of education, tons of knowledge, tons of great speakers. B, the best thing about any of these industries we play in is the network. Knowing the person that's been there, solved that problem, done that thing, where you can literally talk to them face to face and help solve your problems and help them solve their problems. It's the relationship, right? And I think we all run into this as entrepreneurs. Our friends don't understand what the heck we're doing, why the heck we're doing it. And when we like show up to any other event around our town, unless there's some other business owners there, we're on a damn island. Half the time, even our spouses don't know what we're going through. We need each other. We're dependent on each other. We need this network of people. We need our tribe to help us get through the tough times. And Debbie, I think we're not about to enter a tough time. We're about to enter a different time. And I remember a few years ago, COVID was happening, and it happened like while we were at CBF Live.
Yep.
And I don't remember if it was that year or the next year, but there's something that you hammered it home on all of us at CBF Live, that we need to be like a buffalo and we need to run into the storm. And I don't have data on it, but the impact that had on people and how many people weren't afraid of COVID, but ran their business head first as fast as they could and accomplished ridiculous growth over what others would have just shut their businesses down out of pure fear. And we talked about fear with Molly last night. That's like the number one detriment to our home service businesses is when we get afraid, we like shut down. We don't do big things. We're not courageous, and the world kicks our ass. But you told everybody to be like a buffalo. And when a storm's coming, a buffalo runs right face first, right into the storm and gets through it faster than anybody. And all of a sudden there's $1 million home cleaning businesses. Like last year up on stage, it was like, I thought the stage was going to cave in. I thought we were going to have to call somebody. There were too many people up there. There's got to be like a fire code thing that says you can't have 100 people on stage. But that's like the amount of $1 million home cleaning businesses just over the last couple of years that you've helped create is crazy. And
we had to order live. We had to order a larger stage this year because we need room to hold all the mop-free millionaires that will be standing on our stage in April. It's so exciting. And I'm so glad you mentioned that CBF Live in 2020, when the whole world blew up and you were there. And Sean, were you there with us that year too?
Oh yeah.
We were going through hand sanitizer like it was going out of style.
That was back. People have forgotten this, but that was back when they were saying, don't wear masks. Masks don't work. So nobody was really wearing masks at that event. We were all washing our hands obsessively and we had sanitizer everywhere. And they quickly flipped that switch. But during that period of time when it was all new and everyone was fearful, and we were the last event in the hotel that didn't cancel. All the other events had canceled. And of course, it was still a time where people are like, I wonder if this COVID thing is going to be a big deal. Nobody was sure, right? We kind of forget how quickly things changed. And I remember we had a few cancellations. We were supposed to break 300 attendees that year, and we lost about 50 at the last minute who said, my flight's been canceled. They're not flying out of my state and so forth. And I remember the day before we opened, right? And I was like, gosh, do you think we should close this event? And we all agreed, no, people are coming. They want to do it. We're not going to make choices for others. They need to make choices for themselves, whether or not to come. And none of us really knew the seriousness. And I remember that by day 2 of CBF Live, so, we have it on a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday. So people don't have to miss too much work and they don't have to miss too much of the weekend of their family and go home on Sunday. And by day 2, the world began to shut down. By day 2, flights were beginning to get canceled. Venues were being canceled. Events of 500 or more persons were canceled and illegal, but ours didn't hit the 500 threshold. And by day 2, we were like, oh, we're going to go home to a different world. We left a world when we all flew here to Texas, and we're going to go home to a completely different world. And we don't know what that world looks like. We don't know if we're even going to be in business when we get home, or how long we're all going to live. I mean, it was the most terrifying time. And luckily, one of my business partners and dear friend, Josh Latimer, who you know, was there speaking, had just spoken earlier in the day. And I texted him like at 8:00 at night and I said, "Are you up?" He said, "Of course I am. What are you doing?" He said, "I'm hanging out here with Troy Howard." Was it Troy? I forget which one it was, but it's the guy from Syngym. So I got the name wrong, but he was
Daniel Dixon. I think
Dixon. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I get the two of them confused, but he said, "I'm up
because
here."
they're both in the running for the nicest guy in the world. So it's
It
hard.
is. They're so awesome. And I love them. And he's Daniel and I are up here just shooting the breeze in our hotel room. Come on up. And I said, "I need help." So I came up and I said, "Look, I got a 230, 40 people in that room. They're scared to death. They don't know what they're going to go back to. I got to redo all of my talks for Saturday. All of them have to be redone. And I spend months on my talks."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "I need to change the focus and the climate, and I need to give these people hope. And I truly believe that we can lead in this crisis. We don't have to follow and whimper." And I said, I need some help. And he's the one that gave me the Buffalo story. And he shared with me this.
That does sound like something Josh would deliver on, because that guy is full of that stuff where you're just like, how do you come up with this stuff?
I know. And so he said, and I think he got it from Elena Ladeau, which is another respected industry leader. And he said, "I got this from Elena." And he said, "This is a story." And the story, basically in a nutshell, for those who are like, what's the Buffalo story, is when a storm is coming, the cows can sense it and they begin to run away from the storm. And they run and they run and they run, and the intensity of the storm eventually catches up with the cows and overtakes them. And the storm chases the cows. So they run and they run and they run until they're exhausting, and they collapse or die, and they stay in the storm much longer because they're running away from it. Versus the buffalo senses the storm and they turn and run head on into it. And when the buffaloes run head on into the storm, they get through it, even though the intensity is quicker. They get through it immediately and come out the other side, literally unscathed. And so he said, share that with them. And so we spent the whole next day on Saturday. I pivoted my talks and I said, are you a cow or a buffalo? Are you going to run away from this storm? Or are you going to charge it head on? And I said, are you going to go back and say, we're closing because we know you guys don't want anybody in your home? Or are you going to go back in and say, we know you need us more now than ever, and cleaning is a part of the solution, and we're here for you, right? And it was like people went from being terrified of going back to being ready to go back and lead in their community. And we saw cleaning business owners grow during the COVID, and many, many others just collapse. And it was really a powerful time. And so now we have a whole community that says, we're buffaloes. It's really powerful. So like you said, the networking is one of the strongest points of any of these events. And that was a powerful example of how a community of like-minded people with the same values and principles. We love this country. We love the freedom to create and to build wealth and to work hard and prosper from our hard work. We love this. And this group of people gets together. Their families are sick and tired of hearing about cleaning and employees who quit and customers who complain and unfair low reviews on Google. Their family members are sick of it. They don't want to talk about it another time at Thanksgiving or in the evening. Your spouses are tired of hearing it. But you get these cleaning business owners in a room and they're like, so what do you charge? Really? Oh, that's really good. So how do you get them to go with the top to bottom? And they talk till midnight. About cleaning,
nonstop,
about cleaning. And it is so fun. You just feel like I have found my people.
Yeah.
I have found
Nobody else
people.
Gets it. Nobody gets
us because we're weird. We're freaks. And we love what we do. And I love the cleaning industry. And they get us. And so we have so much fun, Dan and Sean. And we love having you guys there as vendors because people love coming and seeing you and meeting you for the first time in person and hearing about Blue Skies bookkeeping and hearing about Blue Skies recruiting. And you just provide so many solutions to our industry. We need each other.
Here's a quick funny story at one of your events, and I can't remember if it was two years ago or when, but we were really getting a lot of steam with some of the Facebook Live stuff and our content and this and that, and our shtick and delivering some good services along the way. And so we're in the hotel and we're trying to check in, and we're there a day or two later than the rest of the gang that's up there. The vendors show up maybe a little bit day later or something. And
you get to come all 3 days now.
See, we've stepped up a notch there. So we're sitting there trying to get into the hotel, and the manager comes out and he says, "Is there anything we can get for you? I apologize. Something's goofy, glitched." And yeah, beer. How about a beer? That'd be great. So he goes and gets us the beer.
Easy answer. Easiest answer I've ever had to any
Easy
question.
to make people happy. Boy, you're easy to please, Sean.
We're sitting there, we're drinking beer, and you just released one of the doors open, and like hundreds of people are pouring out. And as they're coming down, Dan and I are just kind of sitting there swigging like this. And I swear to you, 25 people pointed and started giggling and laughing. And I'm like, is my fly open or something? Is this good or bad? I'm not sure what's going on. And they just kind of recognize there's the two goofy guys we see on Facebook and all this other stuff.
You're celebrities. You're celebrities.
I like it laughed at.
You guys are celebrities. People want to meet you. They want to see that you really do exist.
It's barely.
It is funny. And Debbie, I gotta imagine you if we're a celebrity, we're like a class X celebrity. I don't know how long the alphabet is, but there is something, and I'm sure you get this because the first time I got to see in person, I was like, holy shit, it's Debbie Sardone. Oh my God. I know who Debbie is. Like, there's no way she knows who I am. And you get like awestruck, right? And just like, we're just like super normal people, the most normal people. And it's super funny when you go from like seeing somebody that you really appreciate, and you're like, oh my God, they're such a big deal. And I see what they do and I'm following them and I see it. And then somebody comes to you and is like, dude, I listen to every episode and I'm scaling my business and I never miss one. And it's the minute it comes out, I'm listening to the thing. And I'm like, you listen to me? Oh, I didn't know there was anybody listening. Oh gosh. Like, no, the pressure's on. I got to come up with something good to say. And I'm sure you get that too. And you're like, I don't know. Like, I just put my pants on like this. And I just go out and do my thing, and I work hard just like you work hard. But it is funny when it like flips around all of a sudden, somebody comes up to you like, I love what you're doing. And you're like, oh, like somebody knows that I'm doing a thing. I didn't even know.
You know my name. You know my name. Thank you for knowing my name. It's pretty sweet. It's really sweet. And what's so awesome is when people come up to you like they do with your businesses, because you're changing lives, and they come up to you and they tell you how your help has changed their lives. It's like, you just made my day. And they think it's insignificant. And you're like, hey,
oh man,
honey, come over here. Come read this. Come read what they said about, I mean, it's like, it just makes your day.
It's one of the things that I try to do. And I always say this, I have to do it more often, but when I talk to the recruiting team, that's exactly the words I use. We have this little world we're in called the cleaning industry, for the most part, service industries. And we are changing the world in our own little way. If you think about probably the number one issue is employees for any small business. And there's people that are staring at the ceiling right now, wondering how they're going to grow their business, maybe pay their people in the next week, and
cover their jobs.
All we need to do is help them find really good employees. And guess what we do? Their marriage improves. Their family and kids' lives improve. It's just a mass amount of things that happen. So, it's a really cool thing to be able to serve and help people. Yeah,
it's powerful. It feels so good. It's such a wonderful feeling. And there's nothing like the CBF Live event. I mean, there will be close to 500 people in that room, from office managers. So this year we encouraged cleaning business owners to bring your number 2 person, your office manager. Because we're talking about marketing, branding, and sales. Now, this year, our topic isn't like trade secrets for growing $1 million maid service, because people don't necessarily want to bring their office staff to that. But your office manager is going to be a part of your whole marketing, branding, and sales process. So bring them. Let them learn. Let them get all excited about the possibilities of this business. Let your office manager, if you obviously feel like they're worth investing in, bring them to CBF Live and let them experience how it feels to talk to other cleaning business owners around the country and learn from them. We just have so much fun.
There's a cool thing that happens too when you start to like empower your employees in that way, and all of a sudden they get inspired.
They get it.
It's so there's like an accountability thing that's kind of weird where like they feel accountable to you in that you sign their paycheck or you click the button that direct deposits their paycheck. But in reality, they're more accountable to their peers, right? You're just the boss that tells them what to do. But if they did a bad job and they had a negative impact on their peers, that's actually like way more powerful to somebody. They feel like they let somebody down. You're just the boss, right? When all of a sudden they're a part of the learning and the opportunity, and they can bring some value back, and they get to be the one to bring that value back to their peers. Like it goes full circle, right? They're accountable to their peers, but also when they get to bring some value back to their peers, the pride that they feel in their job and the business and everything, and like AKA culture. We talked about that with Molly all last night. Is like culture is the biggest thing, and it's almost this boat that drives itself a little bit, and you just got to like influence it as best you can. But man, if you can have an office person or an admin staff, or
they come back and own it. They come back and own the success, and they want to own the results, and they want to own the steps to helping you get further. It just gets them energized. We've seen this over and over again. So
yeah,
I'm excited that we've invited the office managers.
I mean, once you're over like 500,000 and you get that office manager going like full time, and they're running your business. That person,
really are.
That person has to be able to run your business because you can't. You're growing your business, but they're the ones that are like traffic controlling. You're the coach. They're the quarterback.
Right.
They're on the field every day. They touch every employee and every customer.
I wish I had something like CBF Live back when I was earlier on in my business. These things didn't even exist back then, but I had a very loyal and dedicated office manager. And it was because of her loyalty and dedication. When my children were little, I didn't work Mondays and Fridays. I had $1 million maid service that was mostly self-running because I had a dedicated office manager. And imagine what we could have done earlier on if I had like CBF Live to bring her to and get her all fired up and inspired. But now that I have a different one, because she retired 2 years ago, a CEO, they come to everything. They come to all of our events, and they get fired up, and they learn new strategies, and they connect with other cleaning business owners. Even though he's a CEO, he runs my business like an owner. It keeps them motivated, it keeps them inspired. But better yet, more than motivation and inspiration, it keeps them in the know for cutting edge marketing strategies, or cutting edge hiring strategies, or cutting edge, strategies to navigate a recession or the pandemic, or, the PPP funds that are available. Some of the topics that we're talking about at CBF Live this year, this one you'll probably enjoy. This is going to be fun for a lot of the cleaning industry. We're not notorious for our adopting technology sooner rather than later, right? We tend to be little Johnny come lately. So I'm going to do an entire talk on Chat GPT and show people in the cleaning industry how this is an absolute game changer.
Awesome.
I mean, I will show people how they can literally save thousands of dollars with the most simple tool on the planet. And I'm excited about that talk because I'm kind of a nerd. I know you probably weren't fully aware of that, although all you have to do is talk to me for 5 minutes and you probably get that. But just like you're a nerd over numbers, I'm like a geek and a nerd over technology, but not technology that wastes your time. Right. I have no interest in technology that wastes our time or wastes our money. But I love technology that helps us be more productive or helps us build more wealth, make more money.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
And so ChatGPT is kind of like my most recent thing that I'm super excited about. Most cleaning business owners are not using it. They're don't understand it. They're scared of it. Like I went to I'm a part of a coaching program because I'm in a mentorship program where I get mentored, and we do once a quarter, a full day of training together. And I have to fly to Chicago for it. And I walk in the room. I was a little bit late for my flight. I walk in the room and they were already talking about ChatGPT. Now, these are high net worth individuals. And the conversation was around the spirit of fear. It was all about fear. What's going to happen and what jobs are going to be lost. And I'm like, I'm excited about ChatGPT. In fact, you want to know how excited I am, Dan? Sean?
Hit me.
All right.
So, I mean, so excited you're going to spend a whole talk on it. I got that.
I'm going to do a whole talk on it, but here's how excited I am. So I wrote a poem for you, but I need a little help with ChatGPT. So here we go. I'm not real good at this, but here we go. There's a CEO named Dan at Blue Skies who loves bookkeeping and beer to no one's surprise. He spends his days crunching numbers with delight. And when it's all done, he'll unwind with a cold one at night. Dan's love for beer is just as strong as his love for bookkeeping all day long. But when the workday finally ends, his focus shifts to his family and friends. For his love for them is just as true as his love for business, numbers, and brew. So, to Dan and his financial flair, may he always balance the books with great care. And as he enjoys his well-deserved beer, may he continue to lead with great cheer. For Blue Skies, he's the man in charge, and his cleaning business impact is quite large.
Damn, Debbie. I'm blushing.
I wish I could take full credit, but ChatGPT helped me write the poem. I just told it what to do.
Hey, ideas are easy. Execution is the hard part, right? Like execution just got a little bit easier. I'm not lying. That hit home, Debbie. I'm like tickled to death. That means a lot to me. Can you print that out? I got to get that thing like framed somewhere and like
I'm going to frame it and send it to you, buddy. I'll tell you, I didn't spend 3 hours on it. I spent 3 minutes.
It's crazy.
So I will be sharing how maid services can use ChatGPT to save time and save money and produce marketing in seconds. I was going to say marketing in minutes because that sounds a little jazzier, but that would be an exaggeration. Marketing in seconds. So if you guys aren't using it already, make sure you're in that session. That will be Friday's session during our marketing talk. Do you want to hear about a couple of other things we're going to be doing?
What else you got going on?
Oh my gosh. We just have so much fun. So it's not just all fun and play, right? It's not just networking, which is powerful enough, but we're doing deep dive teaching on concepts that maid services need during a recession. Because 6 months ago, everybody was wringing their hands about hiring. But right now, people are losing customers because of the fear of the recession. Wealthy people aren't really hurting financially, but people get a little nervous and cancel service. So we're seeing attrition climb by 1% to 2% within the industry. And so, okay, we can hide under a blanket and hope and pray it goes away, or we can say, no, I'm going to be a better marketer, because for every 2 people that leaves, I want to bring 5 people in with better marketing that is more strategic and is more efficient so that it's cost effective. So of course, with our theme, we're going to be talking about marketing, branding, and sales for 3 full days. It's serious stuff. We're not playing games here. And one of the things I'll be teaching on is in terms of branding, right? How to power your brand in your community. Of course, day 1 is all about branding, and we're going to finish day 1 after we talk about branding. And one talk I have is called How to Turn Your Mess into Your Message. And this is going to be powerful for people who have an incredible story and they've just hidden their story. And it's one of the most powerful ways to elevate your brand in your community. And we're going to end day 1, which is Thursday evening, with our gala, which last year we had our very first, what will be an annual gala at CBF Live. It was kind of our second event, but our first real gala. Yeah. And this year, are you guys sitting down? This year, we have John Barrett, the executive director of ISSA. So he runs the entire ISSA organization. He's coming to our gala to thank our Cleaning for a Reason members and thank the residential cleaning industry for all that they do to serve cancer patients. And he will be recognizing and giving the awards to our top #1 donating cleaning companies in the nation for donating services to cancer patients and recognizing the top fundraisers for Cleaning for a Reason. And that's just Thursday night. That's just the first night.
That's a heck
and
of a
course,
kickoff.
We'll have a bar and we'll have live music, and all the ladies get dressed up in pink gowns and pink dresses. Sean Day, you are welcome to wear your tuxedo with your pink bow tie.
Tuxedo. Absolutely.
You are welcome to do that. Dan can wear his blue one, kind of like, you know.
Big Dumb and Dumber,
I was going to say it, but but yeah, you're welcome to wear your blue tuxedo. But Sean Day, Dan, I don't know if you remember this, but Sean Day was our very first Cleaning for a Reason recognized partner for the #1 in the nation for donated cleanings when I first started the recognition ceremony. And so he was the first one that we were able to honor with that. It was just amazing. So we've continued to do that.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not surprised that he was, because I know Sean, but I'm also like, no shit.
Yeah. #1 in the country.
Sean Day, our very own.
What's the website for Cleaning for a Reason?
cleaningforareason.org. So anybody that's not a part of this program that owns a residential cleaning service, you are missing out on the greatest gift you could give to your business and your community. And at our gala at CBF Live, we recognize cleaning companies all over the country. I'm hearing reverb.
And so that I went on my phone and it started spitting audio at me here.
Well, we have food, we have drinks, we have live music, and we have this recognition ceremony where, you know, everybody gets dressed up, and you can dress to the nines or not. We want you to come as you are. But I would say about 90% of the people attending, the women were wearing pink gowns, pink cocktail dresses. It was so much fun. And so that's just Thursday night. And then you want to hear more?
Keep her going. Give us.
So get this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have hired Ron White, a world-renowned memory expert. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
To come and speak on Friday morning at CBF Live. And he's going to talk about how to improve your memory, because when you're selling, when you're meeting people, when you're networking, it's kind of embarrassing when you're like, hey, and you can't even remember their name. Right. And it's like, yeah, I've known you for years here at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm Doug Smith. I'm like, yeah, Doug. Right. So world-renowned memory expert. We're going to have a lot of fun. He does these unbelievable memory feats with crowds. It's amazing. He's had Las Vegas shows. He's been all around the world speaking. And so we get him Friday morning, and then we'll be finishing the day on Friday talking all about marketing and marketing tips. We have our CBF certified coaches like Molly Moran, who you got to interview last night. You know how brilliant she is and how fantastic she is on stage. We've got Libby, one of our coaches, going to be speaking on how to market for employees, because you better be able to do that. We have Jeannie Henderson, one of our coaches, Derek Christian, just unbelievable expert at buying and selling and valuing cleaning businesses and getting them more profitable. And then Coach Art Locke, one of our master coaches, him and Derek, they're all speaking at CBF Live. And then I speak all 3 days. It's serious. Roll up your sleeves, get to work, and come away with pages and pages of things you can take back and implement immediately to help you grow through the recession instead of shrink in a recession. And I know I've been through numerous recessions. I've been in business almost 40 years. I've gone through numerous recessions, and you can shrink in a recession or you can dominate in a recession. We want to help them dominate the industry during the recession.
There's a so quick side note, because I do a talk on how to calculate your acquisition cost and ROI. So if somebody doesn't show up, I'm gonna have a presentation ready. If you need me to jump in, I'm ready to go. Put me in.
All right. Tell me the
seriously,
title of it again. I'm writing it down.
I'm ready to go.
Figuring your ROA.
I find that people want to do really well in marketing, but they don't know how to tell what's working, and they don't know. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the chat this week of the anchor call. How do you measure if you're getting an investment or a return on that investment? we all want to make these big investments, but how do you actually know and decide which one's getting you the best return?
And if you don't know, then you won't cut the bad marketing and you won't spend more on the right marketing.
Yeah, you'll be fearful of spending any money on marketing because you're afraid you're going to lose, right? Because like you don't want to invest in the stock market because it's scary and you might lose money. And so,
Exactly.
and marketing is the ultimate stock market. You're going to invest in some stuff that doesn't work, but that's why you're here. That's why you're going to CBF Live, build the network, get the experiences from other people, learn from the people on stage. But be like, you got to have the guts to spend some money, and you got to be okay with losing every once in a while because you're going to win more often than you lose. But Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you got to take some shots.
All right. I'm going to issue a challenge right now. So all of the people that love Dan Plata, bookkeeping and beer, blue skies, Sean Day, I'm going to issue a challenge. I'm going to base it on the number of people that sign up and attend CBF Live using your coupon code, because we're going to give them a coupon code here tonight to get in for 50% off, which is absolutely ridiculous because I lose money at that. But if you get enough people in that room, I'll put you on stage and I'll let you share your ROI. If you don't get anybody in that room, you ain't speaking.
I'll get up on that. So Diana has told me that because I was like, Diana, like throw me up there. And she's like,
help me fill the room.
Butts in seats. So let's get some
seats. You'll be on stage. So guys, if you want to hear Dan Plata, and I know you do, because he was featured on our CBF anchor training last night and he blew everyone's minds. I mean, when Dan speaks, I'm taking notes. I am taking notes and learning. So if you want him on my stage on speaking on how to calculate your return on investment. So should we give them that coupon code so they can go get signed up right now?
I think that was a good time for a code. Let's sign up, you guys. Let's get her going.
All right. You ready? Somebody who's watching live can type this into the comments. What was that?
Blue Skies 50. Blue Skies 50. It's posted in the comments right now.
Blue Skies 50. And let me share my screen. Go to cbflive.com. So you need to go to cbflive.com. So there's my screen. I'm going to share that real quick. Is that okay?
I think so.
Yeah, why not? So this is it. Go to cbflive.com. You'll see a little bit of information about it. The whole title of the theme this year is the 7-figure cleaning business marketing code, because we are going to crack that code. There's our stage. There's the stage that almost broke with all those.
Like, last year was just like, oh my God, there's no way.
Mop-free millionaires right there. These are people with cleaning businesses that came through CBF and turned a broken business into a million to multi-million-dollar cleaning business. And if you just scroll down, you go to I want the details, give us your email, and then when you register, use Blue Skies 50, and that'll get you in for half off.
It's been so fun to watch because the first time Sean and I came down to CBF Live was 2019. I think 2020 was that was the year of the pandemic, but that was the second year we were there. The first year was 2019 when we came down. And to see the amount of people up on that stage over the years is just like, no, I mean, like, again, kind of like Sean being the first Cleaning for a Reason award winner. I'm not surprised of how many $1 million business owners are up there, but when you see it in person, it's like
shocking.
What? Like, and it's exponential. It's like it doubles every year, right? And when something doubles, like I'm a nerdy bookkeeper, but I think you all know what that looks like. If something keeps doubling, it gets bonkers. Debbie, I don't know who you're going to need to like start up a manufacturing company for green jackets. You're going to.
I know it. I mean,
now there's new colors. You're going to need more new colors.
They're so expensive. Like they're breaking the bank, those stupid green jackets, but it's so powerful. And here's what's really cool, Dan and Sean, is the people sitting in the audience that think they don't have what it takes. They see somebody stand on that stage that was where they were 3 years earlier. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And that's why we do it, is we want to inspire people to realize, no, you can do it. Mm-hmm. The sky is the limit, right? No, the sky is not the limit. You can do it. Yep. And so we want to help people.
We travel around, as you know, Debbie, to a lot of conventions and we're vendoring all over the place now. And I will honestly say that the CBF live event, I've not seen that type of community that gets together where you're able to go in. So anybody out there that hears this or watches this in the next couple of days, I can tell you that years ago, I wasn't comfortable going to conventions and being around a lot of people. But I can tell you that if you have 0 employees, if you have 1 or 2 employees, whatever it is, you will feel at home and be able to identify with people that are exactly like you, or you have been, or they've been like you. You are not a special case the way that you feel. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that will be at this event that know exactly how you feel, what you're facing, those thoughts in your head and staring at the ceiling, wondering about these things. That stuff starts to go away with a lot of hard work, but there's a roadmap now. There's a roadmap that you have that you can take, and all you have to do is click a few buttons to show up, get this discount, because it's a ridiculous amount of money to become $1 million company if you put it into terms like that. I mean, the few dollars that it costs to get in front of this type of expertise, not just Debbie, but the first class vendors that are there, and not Dan and I, but others that are going to be
but everybody else,
everybody else.
Yeah. And the coaches it's a ridiculous amount of talent and love and support. And there's nothing like it. And we go to probably a dozen conventions a year now or something. There's nothing like it.
It's so inclusive. You never feel like I don't fit in around here. You walk in the door and you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm home. And to speak to the vendors, and I know you're being very kind and very gracious and humble, but to be able to come and meet that there's real people behind blue skies, right? And to be able to meet the people who are going to help you with your bookkeeping and help you with your recruiting, and to meet the other vendors. You have found a group of vendors that we have hand selected. We have people try to sneak into our event. Vendors
that cracked me up. I don't blame them.
It's the funniest story.
I'm not surprised.
I don't blame them either.
It's like that it happens. It cracks me up.
God bless you for trying, But it's like, if I don't know you, I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, I can't put you in front of vulnerable, trusting business owners who just need help. So we hand select our vendors, and we only bring the best that cleaning business owners should do business with, that we know and we believe and we have vetted that they have integrity and that they have a good track record, that they're not fly by night or flaky. Now, it doesn't mean we're perfect at that, but we really work hard at just bringing the highest quality vendors that people should do business with. And of course, Blue Skies has been invited every single year. Every single year. We want you there. And others. We have others that will be there that cleaning business owners will be so glad they found.
It's a total honor to go. And I think what's so cool from a vendor perspective is it's not just a big ass vendor room, and it's not who will pay Debbie the most. It's who will bring the most value to CBF members and potential CBF members. And if you're not a CBF
cleaning
member,
business owners,
let's go. Sign up, get to CBF Live.
Let's go.
It's like you said, Debbie, it's hand selected, and it's not a huge, like, here's where the classes are happening, and here's the vendor room way over here, and like there's thousands of them right there, and we're just trying to like make sure they pay for the thing and give all the money. It's like, no, here's where they are, and you do such a good job of this, and I respect the hell out of it, because you're like, okay, all those vendors out there are here to help you, and they help hundreds of people in this room already. And so if you're not using them, go talk to them, because they're not bad people. They're not trying to sell you some shit to put money in their pocket. They're here to help your business get to $1 million. And if you want to be,
they're going to help you make more money. Go talk to them.
Yes.
Do you want more money? Go talk to them.
And so many of these vendors have run the same businesses. It's not just somebody like random off the streets that was like a marketing person or a recruiting person or a bookkeeping person. Like Sean ran a home cleaning business for 20 years. He knows a thing or two about finding employees, right? We've been for the last 10 years, I've been running multiple home service businesses. I found some things out about how to keep track of the numbers for them, like running multiple businesses in multiple states. So it's a cool thing to be able to share that and add value to so many other cleaning companies. And I just appreciate the heck out about how you do it. it's a cool way to do it.
We love having you guys. And then of course we get to expose you to Cleaning for a Reason and that wonderful mission, and get you and your hearts and your minds wrapped around supporting this great cause. And then we of course get our cleaning companies to get all excited about supporting it. So it's not just about business, right? It's about heart. It's about soul. It's about supporting each other. It's about learning, what does this vendor have to offer that's going to change my business and maybe give me back my life, my freedom, or help me make more money so I can be home at night with my kids. So it's just a wonderful event. And I love it so much. It's like, I don't know when I'm going to not do this anymore, but I'm having so much fun. I can't hardly stand it.
Yeah, you don't want to put it down.
One of the things that we do, and this is one of our after hours event, it's like, we go from sun up to sundown and then some, right? So we've got our gala on Thursday night after we work hard all day and we get together and have fun at the gala. And then Friday night, we have what we call hot seats. And this is so fun. People come after dinner, they come back, and several people get to sit in the hot seat, and they share a challenge or a dilemma that they have not been able to overcome. And I and our two other master coaches, which would be Art Locke and Derek Christian, we will help them solve that problem in front of the entire crowd. And we'll oftentimes spend 20, 30 minutes with them in the hot seat. And it's transformational, because there's 25 people in the audience that have that same problem but didn't have the courage to sit in the hot seat, and they're taking notes like a mad person, right? So hot seats is like one of our favorites for those who dare, who can stand to sit in the hot seat. It's just, and then another thing that we do at CBF Live, so it's not just all teaching. We have a little bit of dancing, not too much. We have a live DJ. Just be quiet, guys. We have a live DJ that comes every year, and he really keeps us going, because conferences can be boring, but not this one. This one is never boring.
It's a party.
But yeah, we have a party while we're learning. We have a party while we're making money. And we'll have our CBF Elite members. This is our newest launch program, because our members keep growing. Their business is so doggone big that I have to keep launching programs that are more advanced. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys are wearing me out. So we'll have members of our Elite program. They're in their first year of the Elite program. These are cleaning businesses that are 1.5 to over 2 million. Some are in $3 million range.
It's just so cool that they're there. That people are like doing that, cleaning houses. It's crazy.
It's insane. And they'll be sharing a little bit about what they've been learning this past year since launching an Elite. And then we have our pro group, right? These are the ones that are just under the Elite group, and they've graduated from CBF. They've been in momentum, and now they're the advanced pros, right? And they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we'll be hearing from members, hearing from coaches, hopefully hearing from Dan Plata on stage, but definitely visiting with all of our amazing vendors. And we have a blast. We work hard. And you go home with pages and pages of notes, but not just notes, action items, things you can go back and go, okay, we're doing this and this quarter. And the next quarter, we're going to do this and this. And then you can count the money when it pays off, the ROI.
I mean, it's all about that ROI.
It is. Otherwise, why are you in business? What are you, a nonprofit? No, we're not supposed to be a nonprofit. We're supposed to make so much money we can donate to nonprofits.
We support the nonprofit.
Well, we shouldn't be a nonprofit. I talked to a man today. I just talked to a man today. He's a nonprofit. He's been in business for 4 years. He doesn't make a dime. And I said, are you ready to change that? He said, oh, yeah, I'm ready to change it. He joined CBF. He'll be at CBF Live. I'll see him in 6 weeks.
That's awesome. There's so much good that goes around with the Cleaning for a Reason. And it's not a bad thing to benefit from having a good heart and giving and being charitable either, right? And if you think about it, we always talk about, and I'm a recruiting guy, so we always talk about recruiting is marketing. We just have a different human being at the end of the spectrum. Marketing and sales has a prospect and a client. We have a candidate and an employee at the end of. But for years, we've always talked about, this. Wouldn't you want to hire a cleaning company that has this type of charity, this type of heart, with such a great cause? How about employees? Don't you think that employees would want to work for your company, that they know that you're taking care of the community and people. Because I got news for you. There's not a human being hardly that over the age of 18 that has not been affected by cancer. There just isn't. So everybody gets touched by this one way.
In fact, we have proof. We have proof that employees have said all across the country during interviews, the reason I chose this company to work for, I like what you do with Cleaning for a Reason. And then that job candidate will share their personal story right there in the interview of a family member they lost, a mother, a sister, and why this matters to them. Boom, instant connection, powerful branding, beautiful message, turning a mess into a mess, turning a mess into a message. And just like you said, employees are drawn to taking a job where what they do makes a difference in this world because they want to as well.
Absolutely.
There's a thing we've talked about for, I don't know, Sean, since you and I have been working together, and it goes like this: capacity versus demand. We talk about it all the time. If you're in the home service business, whether you're cleaning houses, pressure washing stuff, mowing lawns, I don't care what it is. If you're a darn chiropractor, capacity versus demand. How much resources do you need to serve the demand for your service? And there's a weird part of why I think this year for CBF Live is going to be so transformational, and why I pointed back to the COVID year is things were changing then super fast. Now they're like changing slow, and we're all sitting here like, are they changing or are they not changing? Are they like, they're changing? All right.
It's always changing.
Always changing. And Debbie, one of the things I love about just listening to you talk is, and you joke about it, but you've had so many experiences. Like when this comes up, this isn't the first time you've seen this thing. For a lot of people in this business, this is the first time they've seen this sort of thing happening. And this is a bit of a roller coaster. One of the weird things with capacity and demand is that the tighter you manage it, the closer your capacity and your demand match, the better your business runs. If you have too many employees and not enough customers, things suck. If you have too many customers and not enough employees, things suck. So you're always running this business, and I like to paint the picture of it's like a car driving down the street, but you've got a gas pedal for marketing for your demand and a gas pedal for recruiting for your capacity. And they each have their own. Neither one has a steering wheel. They just each got their own track and gas pedal. And so you invest in one and you push the gas pedal on one. But if you only do marketing and you only push the demand, you spin in a circle. And if you only did recruiting and if you only put gas in that gas tank and only push that gas pedal, you spin in a circle. And so our business is just this car driving down the street with two gas pedals, and like the money is the fuel, right? But we got to decide when we're going to invest it and how hard we're going to push. And if we can push both of those pedals at the same time and get the same result, like, holy shit, we can go fast. But if one starts to outpace the other, we spin in a circle and like spin out. And we've all been there where it's like, oh my God, I don't have any cleaners for tomorrow. And everybody called in and two people just quit and we don't have the capacity, but we have the demand, and holy shit, this is crazy. And the other thing can happen too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I got all these employees and I want to give them jobs, but all these customers cancel because they're afraid of COVID. They don't want us to clean, right? Something goofy that I see that's about to happen is demand is starting to drop. You mentioned it, Debbie. It's not, it hasn't fallen off the rails. It's not like a depression, but we're starting to see people consumers have the same fear factor that we do as business owners, right? Not everybody is a buffalo. So they're starting to pull back and be like uncertain. Like, I don't know if I can spend this money because I don't know what's happening. Usually when that happens, that means there's like more people available to work. But Sean, you've been saying it and you said it last night. All of a sudden, like, the workforce was starting to come back, but now like unemployment actually went down the last report. And so we're still in a tough labor market. And so this is going to get really interesting. Like if employees are still really hard to find and customers are really hard to find, that's a pretty challenging business to run.
You better roll up your sleeves and have a strategy.
Yeah. Yep. You better go to CBF Live, cbflive.com, coupon code Blue Skies 50. Get your ass to CBF Live because that's what's going to be talked about. You need to know how to market in that case. You need to go talk to Sean Day and Libby at Woo Recruit. You got to find out how you're going to find employees during this market because you can't do one without the other. You can't just run a business with employees and you can't just run a business with customers. Capacity and demand. I
love that. And I love the example you gave. This is not the time to hide under a blanket, right? During a recession, when times get tough and customers are dropping off a little bit at a higher rate than we're used to, and it seems still difficult to hire employees, this is not the time to hide under a blanket. You will shrink. You will go backwards. And those that know what they're doing are going to pass you up so fast, your head will spin. So like Dan said, get your butt to CBF Live, because we're going to show you how to navigate the storms of a recession. And we're going to show you the tools, the technology, the tactics, the strategies on how to navigate that storm. And unfortunately, I have been through numerous recessions and downturns. Some of these cleaning business owners started, Dan, during the peak of the economy, which we've had a booming economy for several years. So they're like, I don't even know what that's like.
Well, customers are just falling into my lap. I'm turning them away.
Like,
I don't have enough employees to serve them all.
Fish jumping in a boat. Fish jumping in a boat. Well, you were going to find out how it looks when you're riding in a boat and the fish are jumping out. And what do you do then? Because you don't have to go out of business. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to come out at the bottom. You can come out at the top. You know, during the Great Depression, more millionaires were made during the Great Depression than any other time in the history of this country. Why? During the first two recessions that I went through as a business owner, where I was immature, I was very fragile, my model was kind of broken, my profitability was sketchy and unpredictable, I didn't have it all worked out. I went through two major recessions. I shrunk dramatically and almost went out of business twice. Almost went out of business twice after hitting $1 million. So that's supposed to be the safe zone, after hitting $1 million. But then the last couple of recession and downturns, one would be the pandemic, and the one before that was 2006, 2007. For those that went through that, it was a nightmare. I grew through both of those because I was prepared. I understood I don't have to lose ground during a recession. I can actually gain ground. I can actually scoop up my competition that's going to drop like a fly. They're going to give up and quit. And I'm going to scoop up their business, and I'm going to scoop up their employees, and I'm going to scoop up their customers. And I did it through the pandemic. I did it through the last recession. I grew through both of them dramatically. You don't have to shrink, and we want to help you. We want to help you. And I think any service business would benefit from this, but our talks are generally geared towards residential cleaning.
Mm-hmm. What I think is great is when people come that have a cleaning business and another business. It's like a twofer.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
They're a twofer.
I know, they're cheating. We should charge them double because they go back. And I've had many people tell me this. They're like, I brought my husband and he was just coming for support, but he was taking pages and pages of notes because he has a painting business. I'm like, you go for it. You better believe these strategies work for a painting business, a power washing business, a carpet cleaning business, a janitorial company. They all work. It works, but we're very specific on residential. But these concepts work no matter what kind of business you have. They're powerful.
It'll be interesting to see. Now here's another funny realization. And Sean, I think this will be fun to watch for the next few years for our recruiting business, which is before COVID hit, recruiting wasn't a thing. I don't know anybody that was doing what we were doing before we were doing it.
You're right.
And like maybe I'm naive, but I don't know anybody that, like, Google Ads has been available for a decade plus. We basically Google Ads the recruiting game.
Yes,
that was like what Sean ended up doing, and then Woot Recruit jumped on, and there's a couple others that are kind of like taking that business model and running with it, and it's super cool to see. But
it's never going away.
Right.
I don't think it is.
It's not even going to go away, even when supposedly the labor market is easier. It's not going to go away because we're going to use sources like Blue Skies Recruiting to finally get rid of those C players and D players that we should have gotten rid of, right? So you don't pull back on your recruiting when times appear good and jobs are plentiful. No, this is your opportunity to up-level your team.
Yeah, you get the best employees you've ever had.
When we started the recruiting, I never mentioned the word you have to boost. Boosting and sponsoring was never mentioned out of my mouth because you could get 500 applications in a night. Yeah. But how do you know which one of those 500 you need to spend time interviewing and hiring? Good luck with that if you don't have systems and processes and automation and technology and screening questions and data-driven questions and all those sort of things that make a big difference.
You guys have taken so much work out of recruiting for the business owner who should be selling and hiring, right? And refining their systems. You've taken so much work out of the hands that wasn't doing well anyway. They weren't that good at screening their own candidates, right? They're like, can you fog a mirror? Come on in, you're hired, right? So you guys have taken a brutal process of sifting through a bunch of resumes of people who don't want a job, right? You got to figure out who are the ones that actually want a job, because most of them don't want a job. You've taken all the work out of it. That's why I want them to meet you at CBF Live. I want them to talk to these two companies. I mean, these two options. I know it's one company, Blue Skies Bookkeeping and Blue Skies Recruiting, but they need to come and talk to you and see how you can change their business. So if I'm, as a business owner, don't have to spend so much time and energy sifting through dud resumes, I can spend more time selling 5 more clients this week at $3,400 a year. Boom. I just sold over 16 grand worth of business because I wasn't wasting time sifting through resumes. That's a good return on investment.
And you got the employees that can actually go clean the thing without screwing it up and without calling in and all the bad.
And they won't be drunk. Hopefully they'll be sober when they show up.
That's always ideal. That's always
and ideally.
Wait, are you
they
trying
have
to tell me
their
something, Debbie?
Well, you know, after hours, I don't care what you do, but before 5, I do.
I'll never forget. I was in like a mastermind event in Nashville, and I'm sitting there around a bunch of business owners, and we had just really like made a hard push on recruiting. It was the first fall we ever like went after it. And Sean had a client that we boosted a job for. I'll never forget this feedback. She was irate. She blasted us on Facebook. She just took us to the rails because we got her 350 applicants and created the biggest headache for her, that she had way too many people. And how could we do that to her? And how, because we were like, yeah, we're going to like, I mean, we were just naive, right? We're going to get you so many applications. You won't even know what to do with them. And we got her so many applications. She didn't even know what to do with them. And that was like 2018 or whatever. We were laughing. We were just like, oh man, like, yeah, I guess that does kind of suck. We should probably help people try to like filter this. I don't think, Sean, to what you said, I don't think we spent a dime on that boost. I think it was just, we wrote a job ad and literally got 360 applications. This was like 2018. And then now to get 360 applications, I don't know, a couple $1,000 to get that. Like the game has changed. The game, I mean, it's different in different markets, but the game has changed substantially. It's crazy.
I think the cool thing is too, when you do something like we did, and we kind of cracked the nut a little bit in making this something that you're going to need to budget on your P&L now. That's something that was never talked about. You didn't budget for that.
It's a new category.
Yeah.
Recruiting for customers, recruiting for employees.
We've worked so hard on changing the mindset of understanding how important that an employee is. We call it the biggest sale of our life. That's what we call an interview when we hire somebody. That's the biggest sale of our life. And the cool thing is, when you start to do something like that, and it's pretty cool to see others kind of create something that you started. And Dan mentioned there's a couple others, and Libby and Paul and Dan and I have had beers together. We love each other. We support one another. We've sent business to Woot. They've sent business to us.
Yes.
You know, we're affiliates of one another sometimes on some other things. So
but Dan, it's such integrity there.
I think Dan said it. It was, as long as it's really good people and they're helping, bring them on in, man. You got good competition. You got good people competing, which is only going to make the industry better.
You got to grow the pie. You can never be worried about your slice. You got to worry about the size of the pie.
Grow the whole pie. And that's what I love about you guys and Woot Recruit is you don't see each other's as enemies, even though you're competing in the same type of space. You end up helping each other, and that really elevates and lifts up the whole industry. And that's why we hand select vendors like you guys, because of the integrity. It's not good enough that you're really good at what you do, which is great, but you also back it up with integrity. And I've seen how you work with clients when things aren't going as smoothly as you intended, and how you make it right. It's like, I don't care how good you are when everything's going great. How good are you when things aren't going great? Anybody can do that.
Things are going good.
But when things aren't going great, which is always the case in every single business, we have our downturns or our bumps in the road. You guys handle everything with so much integrity, and that's what we respect about at CBF Live, and that's why we want you back every year.
Well,
so put butts in seats. Put butts in seats.
And get your ass to CBF Live. We got to get your butt in that seat. CBFLive.com. Coupon code Blue Skies 50. If you want to see me talk, I got a business purgatory talk that I'm just ready to unleash. I got a business purgatory talk. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give it away, but the people got to vote. The people got to vote with their dollars. Get your butts at CBF Live.
If you want to hear Dan Plata's business purgatory talk, because I know I want to hear it, get people to register using this link and save yourself $350. We already underpriced the event for what it cost us to put on. I remember one of my first events, Dan, I ever attended as a business owner when I was trying to become more sophisticated as a businesswoman. This is probably 25 years ago. I paid $1,000 for a 3-day conference. It was put on by Entrepreneur Magazine. I had to fly to Charlotte, North Carolina. Never been there since, had never been there before. Went to a 3-day conference all by my little self. I actually went with my mom, but I traveled in an airplane by myself. And now I do that all the time. I'm like, honey, I'm going to Chicago tomorrow. Did you know that? He's like, you are? I'm like,
yeah, I forgot to put that on your calendar? My bad.
I forgot to tell you, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. But that was my first time to travel by myself. I paid $1,000. This was like 25 years ago for a 3-day conference. It changed my life. I remember thinking, I need to go to more of these. I learned so much, and it had nothing to do with the cleaning industry. So I had to mentally try to transfer the tactics. But our event already is an incredible bargain. You're getting half off by using Blue Skies 50. So let's get registered, guys.
Do it up. Do it up. And I mean, like, bonus, you can come have a crappy light beer with me, after 5 o'clock.
I'm not having no crappy light beer though. It's either a glass of wine or an IPA.
yeah, I got the crappy light beer. I'll have a glass of wine and an IPA and a crappy light beer with everybody.
Okay, well, I'll do that with you.
There we go.
I can't wait to see you guys live. You guys are so fun. And Dan, your talk last night for CBF members on our anchor training was fantastic. So I really do want to hear the business purgatory. I want to hear about ROI and tracking it. So, and Sean, I always learn from you whenever you speak. So it's just so great to be with both of you. This has been so much fun.
Always.
Love it. I always know that CBF is going to add so much value, and that every time I can do anything for CBF folks, like that's our bread and butter. That's who we want to help, right? That's why we exist. I jumped on that anchor training yesterday, and I'm like, sweet, 30 people are on. That'll be like, get some good engagement. And I'm like, oh, there's 60 people on. Oh gosh, there's 90 people on. There's 90 people on a Monday, like 4 to 5, like when like most people got to be picking up their kids and doing this and doing that. There's 90 people on your darn talk. And I'm just like, oh man, like I better just come up with something really valuable to talk about here.
Let me think about something to say. It was so good.
90 people. I was like, let's see, bookkeeping. How do I not bore 90 people to death? All right, let's see what we got here.
It was outstanding.
The opportunity. It was fun.
They loved it.
I'm usually, I mean, like, especially when I'm teaching, I usually like go with slides, right? Because slides give a thing. I didn't throw a slide up. I was kind of proud of that. Some people were like, where are the slides? And I was like, we're just going to add some value. We're just telling stories. We don't need any slides. We're just telling stories. It was
so good. They were looking at you and they were listening to every word you said, and they asked great questions.
They have a lot of good questions.
We need to talk about money more within the cleaning industry. Too many people don't want to talk about money. And I'm sorry, but money makes the whole world move. Money allows you to make a difference and feed your family and do great things. So yeah, it was great talk.
It's literally why we're in business. I always think it's so funny. There was I was at a pressure washing conference a week ago, and literally one of the pieces of feedback to the group of folks that put it on was the vendors are only there to sell stuff. And I was like, don't comment. Like, don't chime in.
Just say duh.
Yeah, it was like, and I was like, how small thinking is that to be like, I run a business that depends on customers that need what I have and I can help them. But those darn vendors that are trying to help me, man, they're evil people. I was just like, I just don't like, how do you own a business and then look at somebody else that owns a business that's trying to help you, just like you're trying to help your customer, and you're naive enough to think like they're a bad human because they're trying to help you. I was like, I just don't like, I wanted to point that out to that human, and I was just like, it's just not worth my time. I just close it out. Social media sucks. I'm moving on, right? I just
Let me just bite my tongue right in half. Wow.
But it's so fun when that's 1%, right? Probably less than 1%.
Not even. Yeah, not even.
So many awesome people function in these industries.
But look how it bothers you when that one minuscule person out of the thousands who love you say, you suck. You're like, oh, really? Oh no! Even though,
I mean, like, maybe I'm the extreme, but like, I very much care what people think about us, because that's like, I care what my wife thinks about me. I care what my kids think about me. I care what all you guys think about me. I care what my customers think about me. Like, I'm trying to make positive impressions on as many possible people as I can. That's the mark we get to on the world. Stuff. Yeah, but I'm just selling stuff. It's like, no, like, I mean, like, yeah, but no, but yeah, like, yes, of course I am, because I'm trying to help as many people as freaking possible. I just thought that was super funny. Like, he wasn't pointing me out.
No.
And they're like, if he would have pointed me out, I would have been right in there defending myself, because I would have just not been able to handle that. He just like threw this broad arcing comment, and I just wanted to go at him. And I was just like, no, nothing good is going to come of that. Not worth my time. Exactly. But clearly it's still grinding my gears. Exactly. So anyway, I'm looking forward to some CBF Live, Fort Worth, Texas. Get
your dancing shoes on, guys. Bring your dancing shoes. That's all I gotta say.
For sure.
Sean, you better get up on stage once. You better bring a yoga video and start stretching now, Sean, or you're gonna throw your back out or whatever.
Dancing crazy,
on that stage, you better just take care of yourself.
As long as I'm not dancing near Ron Howard or Hathaway, I'll be okay. Those two are like the best dancers on planet Earth, man.
Who?
Ron Howard from Sotellus.
Stephanie's husband.
Oh man, he can cut a rug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had him up on stage by himself. He was so good.
Yeah.
He's just nonstop. He's nonstop. He's nonstop.
Yeah, he was fun. He's a lot of fun.
All right, guys. CBF Live, April 13th to April 15th. Like Debbie said, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be jam-packed full. She gave you some notes earlier on what we're going to do, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more. Get on there, buy your tickets, cbflive.com. It's on the ticker on the bottom of the live right now. If you're listening to this podcast, it's still cbflive.com. I'm not even going to spell it because it's cbflive.com. You can figure it out. Make sure you use the coupon code Blue Skies. Now I'm going to spell this because every once in a while somebody spells skies wrong. Skies is spelled Skies. There's no Y in skies when you pluralize it. So Blue Skies, Skies, 50 to get half off. Say what, $350 it saves them?
It's almost $350. So please use that coupon. I don't want anybody paying more.
And use that coupon code, because I'd love to get up on stage and yell at you guys and try to add some value. And
if he doesn't get people there, he ain't going to be on stage.
That's
you need to be there or be square, people.
That's right.
Be square.
All right, guys. Let's sign her off here. Business nerds, you guys know what to do. Work harder and smarter. Go earn yourself some pride. Good night. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate the hell out of you. See you guys in a month and a half.
Take care. Have a great night.